people on ground, some of them are saying that Hindus are living in fear in Leicester. They've been targeted on streets. They've even been targeted near their homes. Their properties have been damaged according to Hindu rights groups. Some of the images of a temple being targeted in the presence of the police, like you see there on your television screen, these images are viral. Now, is this just after an India-Pakistan cricket match, or did this planning take time? Was the targeting of Hindus in the works for some time in the UK? Are Hindus being systematically targeted? We'll get you an eyewitness account. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started with the headlines on India First. Karnataka Congress Chief D.K. Shivakumar leaves the Enforcement Directorate office. He was questioned for more than 5 hours in an alleged money laundering case. Congress calls it political vendetta. Big political fight in Punjab over reports of Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann being deplaned in Frankfurt. Congress and Akalis seek an inquiry by the Civil Aviation Ministry. Aam Aadmi Party says these reports are false. Actor Jacqueline Fernandez is questioned for 7 hours by the Delhi police. The actor is questioned in connection with the 200 crore rupee Sukesh Chandrasekhar con. It's the end of an era. United Kingdom bids farewell to Queen Elizabeth II. She will be laid next to her husband, Prince Philip. World leaders pay tribute. Women in Iran cut their hair, burn hijab to protest against the death of a 22-year-old woman in custody. Iran police calls the death unfortunate. Leicester is barely 160 kilometers from London, the capital of England. As world leaders gathered for the last rites of Queen Elizabeth II, less than 160 kilometers away, Hindus live in fear. Their place of worship, properties and families have been targeted, according to some, by local radical Islamists. The police have so far made 27 arrests. But is this fire of radicalism spreading to other parts of the United Kingdom?
Radical Islamists chanting Allahu Akbar on the streets of Leicester in the United Kingdom. A Hindu religious flag pulled down in the presence of the police amidst a rising tide of Hindus being targeted, allegedly by radical Islamists in Leicester in the United Kingdom. The Hindu community here is in fear of being repeatedly targeted by radical Islamists, some believe of Pakistani origin, after an India-Pakistan match.
This kind of misinformation, this kind of propaganda is being surely used to incite hatred against Hindus and fuel this kind of targeted attack which has been happening for the past 1 week. The Hindus of Leicester really need the help, support and prayer of a Hindu from across the world.
On September the 18th, the Leicester police issued a statement on the serious disorder witnessed, saying additional officers were being deployed to ensure law and order was maintained. Conceding that several incidents of violence and damage have been reported to the police and are being investigated, 2 arrests have been made, 1 man on suspicion of conspiracy to commit violent disorder and 1 man on suspicion of possession of a bladed article. Videos circulating on social media show violent mobs targeting homes of the Hindu community with their faces covered and wearing hoods.
I don't see them or people from India being involved in such violence. But whatever has happened is a really development of a grave concern. And I hope that the UK authorities and the government in the UK are going to look at this in a very, very serious manner.
It was after this chant that the Hindu community claims violence was meted out by radical Islamists. In fact, this is not the first instance of Hindus and Indians being targeted in the Midlands by people of Pakistani origin. The former High Commissioner of India recalls how on India's Independence Day, 5,000 people, predominantly from Pakistan, targeted India House in London and the police had to be called in.
They are of South Asian origin. But given that the provocation was a match between India and Pakistan, it would be logical to conclude that the reaction was by people of Pakistani origin.
The High Commission of India in London has condemned the violence against the Indian community in Leicester and vandalization of premises and symbols of the Hindu religion. The embassy stated, "We have strongly taken up this matter with UK authorities and have sought immediate action against those involved in these attacks. We call on the authorities to provide protection to the affected people." The Hindu community in the UK fears being targeted by radical Islamists, with the police in the line of fire, treating the suspects with kid gloves. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, we talk about Islamophobia. Targeting of Christians is also highlighted, but is the targeting of Hindus and non-Abrahamic religions being brushed under the carpet? Ambassador Thirumurthy, India's former permanent representative to the United Nations, had raised this on the world platform. Take, for example, the targeting of minority Hindus and Sikhs in Pakistan and Afghanistan.
As we have emphasized time and again, combating religiophobia should not be a selective exercise involving only one or two religions, but should apply equally to phobias against non-Abrahamic religions as well. Till this is done, such international days will never achieve their objectives. There cannot be double standards on religio-phobias. Education certainly has an important role to play in combating radicalization, violent extremism and terrorism. India has been the greatest victim of terrorism, especially cross-border terrorism. We call on countries to develop an education system that truly contributes to combating them by promoting the principles of pluralism and democracy. I thank you.
Now, joining me from Leicester is Dishita Solanki, an Indian entrepreneur in the UK, an eyewitness to this spiraling tension in this area. Dishita, what's the current situation in Leicester and what has been happening there?
So this has been, firstly, thank you for having me. This incident that I think the world is witnessing at the moment has been going on for quite a few months. It was only the incident that happened a couple of weeks ago, which was instigated by a cricket match, is what sparked this. But this is nothing new. It's been going on for two months. There's been a small group of Islamist clerics that have been instigating Muslim youth to go and intimidate Hindu minority group that have migrated from India here, and they are living in an area which is predominantly Muslim area. Now, for the past 2.5 months, these families that are living in these houses are being consistently attacked. There's been violence that they've been incurring, and their doors have been knocked down in these areas. I don't live too far from there. I've been and seen myself. You can very categorically see that the homes that don't have the doors fully in place are the homes of the Hindus, it's completely heartbreaking, and Hindu community at large is extremely scared.
Yeah, so,
this minority community, that's obviously they're the ones who are incurring this.
So you're saying the Hindus are scared, Hindu community is scared, but why are Hindus being targeted, and who are these clerics who are inciting people? Who are the people who are targeting the Hindus?
100% Hindus are being targeted, and they are being targeted by Islamists that are instigating Muslim youth within Leicester to carry this out.
Okay. And what's been the role of the police and the administration so far? Are they going after the perpetrators? Is there a fair investigation?
So the police have been trying their best to get hold of the situation. Unfortunately, the issue is with this Hindu minority group, because they are migrants, they struggle to speak the language. They don't understand the civics properly and their rights properly. So they've not been able to communicate to the police clearly as to what's happening to them. And due to that, these Muslim groups are targeting them. They're being violated. Now they're completely vulnerable. They tried to do a Shanti march within their own area, where they again got attacked for carrying out this march. Yesterday itself, within another area, where the Mandir's flag was being pulled down by these Muslim youth. They were trying to do a protest. There was no activity within this Hindu majority area. But at the end of the day, there is a form of Hindu phobia which is rife right now in Leicester. Anybody having a car with a Hindu emblem on the front of their cars are being toppled over. As a large Hindu community, everybody is really scared. They are scared to put any kind of Hindu symbolism on their cars or their doors, because you don't know when you're going to be attacked.
But you know, this Shanti march, or the peace march that you talk about, there are reports to indicate that this was a very aggressive march with Jai Shri Ram slogans being chanted through Muslim majority areas.
That Muslim majority area you're referring to is where the Hindu minority is living, so that makes it their area too. They were trying to go around and giving courage to the other families whose doors have been knocked down. Their mothers of those families have been forced to evacuate their homes, and they're living in other random relatives' homes. Those youth that were going around, they were giving courage and support to their own community because they were sick and tired of being violated.
Now, when you speak of this fear, Ms. Solanki, is this restricted to East Leicester? Is it restricted to a pocket, or is this spreading to other parts and perhaps in other parts of the Midlands?
At the moment, Leicester I mean, it's happening predominantly in Leicester. There are other cities that are being targeted, like Nottingham and Birmingham. I have relatives staying in a lot of cities, and I've had messages from all of them that there are sparks within other cities as well. So scared is a bit of an understatement.
Scared is an understatement.
If your house was under attack, you don't know when somebody's going to knock on your door and knock your door down, and people are walking around on the streets shouting Allahu Akbar, and I mean, you would be petrified. Anybody would be petrified. So of course they are scared, and because of this small minority community that are undergoing this, who can't speak English properly, who don't know the rights, the large Hindu community within Leicester is trying to reorganize and they're trying to support the community. But it's it's a very scary place to be in at the moment.
But this fear or the plight of the Hindus, is it being adequately reflected? There are some reports that seem to indicate that Hindus carried out this very aggressive march, and Hindus are becoming very aggressive in this area. So is this being fairly reported?
Media, I think the reporting has been extremely unfair, to be honest. So far, it's been very anti-Hindu, if I can say that, and have been portraying as if Hindus are the ones that are attacking. I'm on the ground. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been going around giving support to community since the past two to 3 days, and the reporting is completely anti-Hindu, and it's not fair representation at all with the violence that's being incurred on the Hindus at all.
You stay safe. For joining me here on this India Today special broadcast, Ms. Solanki, many thanks. Let's now widen the scope of this discussion, and let me bring into this conversation Dr. Hamid Khan. He's a UK-based journalist and lives not far from Leicester, currently I'm told in Pakistan, and Rashmi Sawant is the former president of the Oxford University Students' Union, someone who's been at the receiving end of some of these this vicious targeting. But Dr. Khan, let me begin by asking you, desecrating a temple, taking down a Hindu religious symbol, a flag, Hindus in Leicester, they say this is a planned radical Islamist attack, sir.
Thank you very much, Gaurav. I mean, first of all, we are talking about, this time we are talking about England, the situation in the United Kingdom, right? So when we are talking about that, we have to be very careful and we have to be very factful, right? I'm very sorry to say that so far, whatever, coverage I have seen, it is half of the story has been told to the people. I appreciate, Gaurav, your remarks that there are, reports that where the Hindutva rallies were chanting the slogans, where Jai Shri Ram and other slogans were sent, and it was very aggressively, sent. And this is what we are talking about the Britain. The law and order and the system to provide the justice is much better than our region in subcontinent. And if I'll tell you the truth, I would love that Ms. Solanki would testify whatever she has said in the British police station, or to go to the Department of Justice rather than fabricating the facts. And because
so is chanting Jai Shri Ram illegal in the United Kingdom?
No, not at all, not at all. But any slogan which has a motive behind hatred, which is a hatred-based slogan, and said to aggressive or instigate the situation, would be illegal. I am not saying any slogan.
So Allahu Akbar chanted on the streets of Leicester?
I mean, if it has been chanted on the aggression, then yes, the court will, the justice will take place, and the court will do the justice with it. Let me tell you one thing, please, Gaurav. Leicester is the city with the majority of Indian Muslims. I mean, Ms. Solanki failed to explain you that these are Gujarati Indian Muslims who have been living with harmony with the Hindus, because, I mean, it is not a matter of only between Hindus and Muslims. It is the matter of the people living with harmony from South Asia. I think it is a
that
very
harmony is very
situation.
visible on television screens, sir, when a temple flag is desecrated. That harmony is there for all to see. But let me also bring into this conversation Rashmi
Just
Sawant.
one thing I wanted to say.
Rashmi Sawant reports, and you also heard Dr. Khan, where he says it's Hindus who've carried out a very aggressive march with Jai Shri Ram slogans in what some reports have described as a Muslim majority area.
Well, I'd like to ask, is the Muslim sensibility so sensitive that just by hearing Jai Shri Ram, they resort to vandalizing a temple, Hindu-owned properties, and toppling of cars? This is one question. Secondly, when you see this man trying to desecrate flags on a temple compound, there were little children who were trapped inside the temple. They were almost held hostage for hours until the police could clear out this murderous mob, which was literally on a rampage to burn anything Hindu and to smash anything Hindu. What you're making up is nothing but excuses.
Okay, you're saying it's nothing but excuses. Dr. Khan, would you like to respond to that? And my question is Leicester actually becoming the 5th province of Pakistan? Are there no-go areas for Hindus in Leicester? Doesn't this sound rather bizarre?
I spoke to my own friend yesterday night.
People get excited by hearing Jai Shri Ram?
Gaurav, I think you missed my point, that I am saying that there are not much Pakistani Muslims are living in Leicester. Let's read the statistics of Leicester. The Muslims living in Leicester are Indian Gujarati Muslims from Surat, from other parts of the India. First of all, they're not Pakistani Muslims. Secondly, let me tell you one thing.
Are you trying to say that Indian Muslims living in Leicester, after a cricket match where Pakistan lost, targeted Hindu homes? Is that what you're saying, sir?
I am just saying, yes, there might be.
That seems to be the implication.
Let the police investigate. Let the police investigate the whole situation. So far, police have given all the evidences that there has been aggression by the Hindus, by the Hindutva ideology followers. That is what's been told by the police.
No,
and it is not,
you
we are not
are
talking about,
making half-baked facts. Leicester Police has tweeted that stop spreading misinformation that Hindus are attacking a mosque. This is what the Muslims have been doing in the UK. And Leicester Police had to come out saying that we sent policemen to the mosque to check if there's been an attack. These kinds of lies are being spread day in and day out to increase and exaggerate the kind of attacks which are happening.
But Dr. Khan, that is a fact, and we've put it out on India Today. Leicester Police actually issued a statement, and that statement is there on social media for all to see.
I've read it.
That so no mosque was targeted as rumors were spread.
I'll tell you, I mean, can you believe that Solanki was saying that there are very illiterate Hindus as that minority? It is again against the facts. There are very literate Hindus in Leicester, right? They know what is their legal rights. Everybody who's living in United Kingdom, they know how to get the justice and use their legal rights. And
so that remains to be seen, but we will track that. But on the point of aggressive Hindus, the police said it was a rumor that a mosque was targeted.
No.
So those who are spreading this rumor of a mosque being targeted, they've been caught out, sir.
It is a rumor that this lady
sir,
is saying
a rumor of a mosque being targeted versus images of a temple targeted. No, sir, that's not a rumor.
No.
We'll show you those images.
We'll
show you those images on India Today.
If I may add,
Gaurav,
we have videos after videos of Hindu properties being targeted.
Can you let me say something?
Of Hindu
yes, but don't spread rumors on India Today television, sir.
No. I'm not spreading the rumor.
Temples being attacked, and all you have to say is a few Hindus said Jai Shri Ram. That's it. Nothing else. There's no other thing at all.
I'm just saying it's a very aggressive
Ms. Sawant, Ms. Sawant, go on, Dr. Khan, complete your point, sir.
Yeah, please. I am just saying that Ms. Sawant is saying too harsh a statement that there were hostages in the temple. I'm very sorry to say. Let's go to the facts. There was not a single hostage. Yes, the incident did happen, and the police
there were children inside the temple because it was just after the RP that
if you could provide the facts and figures, I will admit it. It is not we are talking about India.
There are videos of a mosque surrounding the entire temple.
There are videos of
figures do you want?
There are videos of mosques.
There are videos of a temple being desecrated
of people.
Okay, Ms. Samant, a temple was targeted. Rumors were spread about a mosque being attacked. Do you see a pattern here, Rashmi Samant? Because police in Leicester, as you also rightly pointed out, they've issued a clarification saying no mosque was targeted.
Yes, but they have not said that any temple was targeted. Can you show me that?
Sir, we can see those images.
There is a literal video of this, and all of us who've been to the Leicester temple, we can identify the temple. And here go your facts and figures.
Hold on, okay, Dr. Khan, you made your point. Ms. Samant, kindly complete your point. Do you see a pattern? Target a temple, spread a rumor that a mosque was targeted.
I see the clear pattern. I mean, this happened in Bangladesh during the Durga Puja, wherein rumors were spread that a Quran is being desecrated, whereas it was not. And it was later realized, but until then, countless Hindus were butchered in the name. The same thing, the same pattern is being repeated here in the UK as well, because it is ready fodder to instigate youth, to radicalize youth. It's just easy to tell them that a mosque was attacked and all of them will be on the street, and countless Hindus will be dead before investigation can come to
at least this time, at least we can see, fortunately, there are a large number of police personnel on the streets. And we are told that Leicester Police is saying that, they've called in police personnel from other parts of Midlands to ensure that there is effective policing. But Dr. Khan, last 30 seconds, what would you say, whether it's the grooming gangs or the 7/7 London bombing, the Pakistan link to breaking the law of the land in the UK, sir?
No, it is not Pakistan's link, first of all. Let me tell you one thing. We are talking about the civilized society of Britain, where whosoever will do a crime, they will be brought to justice. And there, what Solanki was saying, that the British police system was unjustice, and they are reporting against.
Sir, again, you're not answering my question. I'm asking about that Pakistan link, whether it's the 7/7 London bombing or the grooming gangs or the violence that we see. Are
There was
Pakistanis,
no-
you know, people of
Gaurav,
Pakistani origin
no, Gaurav,
flirting
again,
flirting
there
with
was
the
no
with the
Pakistani-
boundaries of the law?
There was no Pakistan link in 7/7 bombing.
Oh,
I'm
really
very
then?
sorry to say.
Okay,
There was no Pakistan link. It is a
And there was no
British-
Pakistan link to grooming gangs either. Perhaps that is what you will say.
They are British. They are British citizens.
Well, they
Let-
just
let's
gave
be
up their
clear.
Pakistani passports using a
tell you one
loophole,
thing.
using a
They are
loophole in British law,
citizens.
not to
No,
be,
no,
not to be,
no,
you know,
no,
deported to their
no.
original countries.
No.
But
It is
you know,
not about that.
it is
They
for the
are
British to think.
citizens. They are
It is for the
British-born
British to
citizens.
think. Do they want their
It is a
country to
British-born
become another Peshawar
Of
in
course, I
Pakistan?
agree
That's
with
for
you.
Britain to
But it-
think. But you know,
But that is the thing that
we
if-
will
if-
continue to track
if
the story
Hindutva
very closely.
extreme-
Dr. Khan and Rashmi Samant for joining me here on this India Today special broadcast. Many thanks. All eyes now on the British law and order system, whether justice will be done.